Final series, a best of 5, and the teams won all as they came to the Melbourne Cricket Ground today. Everything was set fair, a big crowd in early on, and the pitch, well, it was the same one as they'd used yesterday, and Greg Chappell changed his mind. Yesterday he put New Zealand into bat. Today he won the toss, third time in 3 tosses, and he decided to bat. Conditions absolutely marvellous, not a cloud in the sky, and the outfield perhaps a little bit rugged, a little bit rough, but basically everything set fair for a very good day. And it turned out to be a day of controversy, one of the most controversial days cricket I've seen. For the moment, it's enough to say that Australia and New Zealand were 1 all. Here we are now in the second over. Snedden is bowling to Border, 5 runs on the board for Australia, and in the commentary box, Bill Lawry and Keith Stackpole.
That's a good shot square of the wicket. That's his strength on both sides of the wicket. Edgar the fieldsman, what a fine return. Bruce Edgar's had a magnificent year in the outfield and the crowd love him for it. Fast across the ground and a beautiful throwing arm.
Certainly makes the wicketkeeper's job a lot more easy. Beautiful throw. Not a lot of elevation in it. It was pretty flat. A perfect throw.
Hadley now to Border.
He's out, and what a fine catch, Parker! My word, he's a good slipper.
And that's the end of Alan Border, and Australia 1 for 8.
Hadley to Greg Chappell.
And that's a touch of class.
McKechnie to Wood.
Another bad ball and 4 more.
This letting the Australians off the hook after a very good start by the New Zealanders.
Another bad ball. Just can't afford to pitch short at slow, medium pace. The master batsman onto the back foot. Pulled it through McVicker. And then a glorious cover drive. 12 runs off the over. Classical stroke making by the Australian skipper.
Greg Chappell piercing that offside field to perfection. And a lot of run on that board, sped quickly to the boundary.
Martin Snedden to Graham Wood.
Good shot. Well, Wood not being left behind by his captain, getting onto the front foot and driving beautifully through mid-off. The end of the over, 1 for 56.
McKechnie to Wood.
Let the ball run away there, down to third man. It's running away fine, and it might be 4. It's going to be 4. Yes, so a good shot there. That third man fieldsman very wide, and Wood playing it away fine. 1 for 7. Oh, what a great shot, and straight through the extra cover fieldsman there. Greg Chappell hitting that like a tracer bullet. An over-pitch delivery from McKechnie, and that was smashed with all the authority in the world to the boundary. Oh, what a beautiful shot. Well, apart from hitting the ball well, Greg Chappell certainly is finding the gaps. That ball slightly over-pitched on leg stump and dispatched to the mid-wicket boundary.
Beautiful stroke. 4 runs for the moment. Greg Chappell started to swing the bat. 100 comes up for Australia. And great batting there. And real pressure being applied now to the New Zealanders. McEwen to Wood. Applause from this big crowd for Graham Wood's 50. He's just beaten Greg Chappell to it.
And that was a very good 50 indeed, off a mere 77 balls in 93 minutes.
And Greg Chappell responds with a single to bring up his own half-century. Standing ovation for Greg Chappell. Chappell in turn just saying to Wood, keep your head down. Vital game this. One of these two teams going to be 2-1 in the lead at the end of today. Lance Cairns now to Greg Chappell, and what was about to happen will live long in New Zealand memories, not to mention the memories of the 2 umpires. That's between two fielders, is it? What a catch! That is one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life. And Greg Chappell is staying there. Umpires are conferring. Snedden says he caught it. And the umpires have said that's not out. And Howarth is having a word with umpire Cronin.
I would suggest that the umpires didn't see whether that ball carried or not, and Snedden is saying, I caught it. And my word's good enough. Howarth is certainly saying, well, Snedden said he caught it, and he would not say that if he wasn't absolutely sure of it. It's a long way from the umpires. Howarth is not going to let this go too easily.
And there it is, Greg Chappell advancing to Cairns. Fielder Snedden racing in. There is no question in my mind that that was a great catch. Clearly caught above the ground. A superb catch. There is no question that that was out. It was a marvellous catch. The man alongside Snedden knew it was caught. That's Burgess. Snedden knew he caught it. And the umpires have said not out. One assumes because they weren't close enough to the happening. That was a magnificent catch. And it goes down as one run to Greg Chappell. Mike Burgess there, showing he still has some sense of humour. McEwen to Wood.
Bowled him. McEwen's broken through, and that's a vital one for the New Zealanders. Just as we were saying how well they were playing and controlling the situation, Wood once again trying to hit over Wong On and paying the penalty. Kent, glorious cover drive. What a start.
Will do a lot for the confidence of Martin Kent.
Paul McEwen now, and Greg Chappell's taking strike.
Hit that. It's a big hit. 4 runs. The end of the over.
And Martin Snedden would appreciate the delicious irony of this look-alike catch.
Having said that, Keith, my opinion, as Greg Chappell plays one away, and there's another one taken out there. Beautiful catch this time. Greg Chappell's on his way. What a magnificent catch, almost in the same position as the one caught by Snedden, which was given not out. Edgar coming in, diving, and what a magnificent catch. Well, justice has been done, even though just a little late.
Greg Chappell not going on and getting 100, but what a magnificent catch. Bruce Edgar out in the deep. Similar circumstances to the previous one when he was in the 50s, and very little difference between both catches. And what a great catch by Bruce Edgar out in the deep. Not sliding forward, but rolling over. And a jubilant Bruce Edgar as he holds the ball up and signals the end of Greg Chappell's innings. And he is out for 90. And Australia 3 for 199.
He's hit that. It's gone up high in the air. He might be out. It's going to be difficult to catch. It's dropped right between them. Well, misjudgment there by Howarth and Bracewell, and a big mistake there by the New Zealanders. A very frustrating one for Howarth. They should have caught that.
Should have been a simple catch for someone down there, but obviously no calling by Bracewell or the fellow who was charging across, Captain Jeff Howarth, who came across from mid-off.
Snedden bowls to Martin Kent.
Kent going for a big one. What a great shot down the ground. No, there's someone underneath it. Oh, he's missed it again. Misjudged in the outfield. The ball rolling away, and it's 4. Well, the New Zealanders really slumping under pressure in the outfield. That ball hit high and straight and should have been out. And he's hit that high, and that's going way out down towards mid-wicket, right underneath the nose. Not a set, and he's got it. What a fine catch again. Very well judged this time by him, following that great catch taken off Greg Chappell, and that's the end of Martin Kent. Snedden bowling short, pinged into the outfield from outside off stump by Martin Kent. Another good catch by Bruce Edgar. Australia now 4 for 215. Another slow one, and again that one deceiving Marsh. Struggling to adjust there to the pace of the ball, and Hadley having a little chat to him there, and of course Marsh offering him the bat. And the little chat continuing, and Marsh throwing the ball over the top of his head, and the crowd love it. This is the last ball of Hadley's over, and his spell, and that one's hit in the air. It's gone way down towards the deep square leg boundary. And what's more, it's 4, and as Marsh goes past Hadley, just a little word in his ear, what a fine shot that was.
The last ball of the Australian innings, and Rod Marsh on strike.
Crowd chancing 6-6-6. Marsh hits it, going down towards deep mid-wicket, coming back for the second, and that's what they'll settle for. So 2 to Marsh, and the Australian total 4 for 235.
So New Zealand 236 to win. They opened up with their left-handers, John Wright and Bruce Edgar. Here's Dennis Lilly now in the first over. He's bowling to right, and with me in the commentary box is Frank Tyson.
And that's picked up very well. It's down to fine leg. There's a marvellous effort there. It was Wood who made the diving save down at the very fine leg position.
Graham Beard comes in now to the left-hander Edgar.
Got that away. That's a good shot. Forward to Bruce Edgar.
Walker to John Wright.
It's in the air, but it's safe. Well struck. Clears Hughes at mid-on. That's just what New Zealand needed at this stage. 2 quick 4s. That's a good shot. Fine straight drive. That's 4 runs, and that's just what New Zealand needed at this stage. Very pro-Australian crowd here, well over 50,000 people, I would think.
Walker to Edgar.
It's a fine shot. And that could be 4 more. My word, the New Zealanders starting to pick up their run rate. And all of a sudden, pressure's on the fieldsmen and the bowlers. Well, that's well struck. Was that a caught and bowled or not? Surely not another Dilip Doshi.
Slower delivery there from Graham Beard, the off-spinner. And it's driven very firmly. So firmly, in fact, that Beard hasn't got time to get the hands up.
When the side's not fielding well, that's something that doesn't give the bowlers a great deal of assistance. It makes it very hard for the captain in field placings and so on. It's a matter of usually you have patches if you don't feel well. Hopefully it's only for a short period of time, and everybody gets back onto the job fairly quickly.
It's a good shot. Max Walker in his final over, just strained short of a length, and that's a glorious shot off the back foot. You can't see a better shot than that. Edgar off the back foot threw mid on.
Well, that is definitely a touch of class there.
Right. This one's in the air and he's gone. Yes, he's out. Caught. The big blow there to New Zealand. Right, very upset. Bowing his head. That one hit straight to Martin Kent. And the breakthrough coming for Australia. Crowd showing their appreciation of good, tight, tactical bowling by Greg Chappell.
Greg Chappell just pegging away just short of a length outside off stump, and Martin Kent taking the catch just above his head and going backwards. And the end of John Wright. He got New Zealand off to a good start. He's out for 42 and New Zealand 1 for 85.
Trevor Chappell to New Zealand skipper Howarth.
And I believe there was a little edge there. Chappell's hand going up onto his head, and it might have been a difficult one.
Jeff Howarth looking to run it through the slips and get down to find a third man, but making contact.
Bowling to Edgar. It's in the air and in the square of the wicket, and that's his 50. A very vital 52 and getting 3 for that shot.
Trevor Chappell straying to the leg stump again, and Bruce Edgar taking toll of that and reaches a very good 50.
Greg Chappell to Howarth.
Well, that's in the air and it's way down towards the square leg boundary. That's a good shot by Howarth. The ball slightly offline there, and he latched onto that very quickly. And a couple of New Zealanders there, or 3 of them, very pretty ones too, cheering their captain. Oh, there's a big appeal. He's given him out. What a great breakthrough. Greg Chappell there finding the outside edge of the bat. Rod Marsh taking a magnificent catch, and the pressure showing on the Australian captain.
It's difficult for a wicketkeeper when he's standing up to a medium pacer. Take the edge, and good delivery from Greg Chappell just outside off stump. And a thick edge there from Jeff Howe. First glance it looked a fine one, but it was a thick one.
New Zealand 2 for 117, and here's an interesting change in the batting order. The hard-hitting right-hander Lance Cairns comes in at number 4. Well, Australia tried a similar move with Rodney Marsh. I wonder if this will succeed, as did the Australians' ploy.
Oh, thank you very much indeed, Tony. And there's a big hit straight away from Lance Cairns. Here comes Chappell again. And that's another vicious drive unleashed. And it's through. It's through. That's another 4 runs.
It was a great shot. Max Walker didn't have all that far to go across to his right. It was hit with enormous power. Greg Chappell bowls to Bruce Edgar. That's a very good shot again. Walker coming into the side screen and can't do anything about it. Once it goes under the side screen, it's 4 runs. And this is just what New Zealand need. Run rate creeping up, it's 3.94. Bowl in. It's well bowled by Beard. That's the one they wanted. He's done a good job, young Graham Beard, today. And I suspect they're beaten by the change of pace.
Also, that ball came in. It looked as though it was almost an off-cutter or an off-spinner. Ball very wide of the off-stump. And you can see it did grip and come back in between the gate, between bat and pad. 3 for 136 this one.
Greg Chappell to Mark Burgess.
And he's gone. Well, he wasn't promising today. He just took that off his toes and put it straight to Trevor Chappell at square leg. And that really is a blow for New Zealand. You can see him whipping that ball off leg stump. And there's Chappell waiting for the catch, which he takes right in front of his eyes, out for 2, and the total 4 for 139.
Beard to McEwen. It's good, Daw. What a good catch. Graham Wood looked as though he was unsighted momentarily. McEwen's gone. It was a really good hit. And if it had been another couple of yards wider, McEwen would have been safe.
No blame of catching to Paul McEwen here. This is precisely what he had to do. He had to loft the ball. He had to score runs quickly. He just picked the wrong spot, the wrong man.
Trevor Chappell to Bruce Edgar.
That's beaten. Short cover. That's 4 runs. And what a fine hand by Bruce Edgar. And there he goes. Well played, Bruce Edgar. What a fine hand. Congratulations to him. He's going back for the second and he gets it. Edgar 101. Tremendous innings under pressure. Standing ovation for the little left-hander.
Well, that's a tremendous hand from Bruce Edgar, and that's a great tribute from the Melbourne crowd. They're on their feet, 140 balls in 183 minutes, and that really is a fantastic performance by the little left-hander, and you can't get a better tribute than a 50,000 Melbourne crowd recognising that 100.
5 wickets in hand, but the balls are important now. What can Parker do with this one? He hits in the air. It's going to fall safe, is it? Trevor Chappell going back. Catches it. Could that been the match for Australia? Vital run save. Parker out. magnificent catch running with the ball by Trevor Chappell. That brings Hadley to the wicket. And what a finish.
Well, Trevor Chappell, his day is not over yet. John Parker skying that one high into the air, going for a big hit. Trevor Chappell takes a well-judged catch, running back over his shoulder. Never easy when you're running the same way as the ball. Parker leaves the ground up for 24, and New Zealand are 6 for 221.
Be Trevor Chappell to the Demon Hadley. 6 balls remaining. He's hit that and he's hit it well. It's going to Max Walker. And that's 4. My, what a start. Wow. 11 required for victory. 5 balls to be bowled.
Well, I would say that Greg Chappell's got to get Max Walker out of that position. That's Hadley's favourite hitting position.
Trevor Chappell. He's getting him out. Oh, well. Dear, oh dear. There we go. Let's have a look at that on replay.
On this occasion, well, I would say that might have just pitched outside leg stump. Certainly it would have hit the stumps. I think that Richard Hadley could justifiably feel a little bit annoyed at that decision, particularly with all the troubles that he's had getting an LBW himself.
4 balls remaining. 11 runs required for victory. Smith not a big hitter.
Well, I'd have to disagree with Smith not being a big hitter. I saw him hit an awful big 6 off Dennis Lilly at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
A lot of pressure out there. Fieldsman everywhere. He's hit it well. Go for 2. And they get it. 3 wickets in hand. Marsh up for the stumping. Or the run through. He's hit that, and that's runs. That's at least 1. He'll probably go for the second, test him out. He's going. He's made it. He's home. What a great effort. Ian Smith, crowd is stunned. Fine running between the wickets. Tremendous courage.
6 off 2 balls for a tie. 7 off 2 balls for a win to New Zealand.
Trevor Chappell, the bowler. Smith, the batsman. 52,000 people in front of their seats. In. There you go.
Chappell slamming that one in short of the length. It doesn't bounce very high, and that's what's beaten Ian Smith. It's gone underneath his bat. Ian Smith is out, bowled Trevor Chappell for 4. 8 down for 229. And New Zealand's only hope now is a 6 off the last ball for a tie.
Long discussion. Well, it looks to me as if they're going to bowl underarm off the last ball. Rod Marsh is saying no, mate, but I'm sure he's going to bowl an underarm delivery on the last ball and bowl it along the ground and be sure that it has not been hit for 6. The umpires have been told, the batsmen have been told, and this is possibly a little bit disappointing. Let's make sure it is an underarm, but I've got the feeling as the ex-Victorian skipper, they're going to bowl an underarm. Have you ever believed it? And that's a disappointing finish. Disappointed Brian McKechnie, the crowd boo. And it's all over. After 50 overs, New Zealand 8 for 229. Well, that's disappointing. Bruce Edgar saying, what's going on? But very disappointed, Bruce Edgar. At the moment, Howard coming onto the field.
No wonder the New Zealanders are disappointed, and none of them more disappointed than their skipper, Geoffrey Howe. There he is now, talking with the 2 umpires Cronin and Weezer. Let me just tell you what I think about it. I think it was a disgraceful performance from a captain who got his sums wrong today, and I think it should never be permitted to happen again. We keep reading and hearing that the players are under a lot of pressure and that they're tired and jaded and perhaps their judgment and their skill is blunted. Well, perhaps they might advance that as an excuse for what happened out there today. Not with me, they don't. I think it was a very poor performance, one of the worst things I have ever seen done on a cricket field.